See, I hope that's better for you guys. All right, so if you're just tuning in, Elon Musk has taken to Twitter, and I know it's a little choppy here. I'm going to try and figure that out after the stream is over with, but I just wanted to get live here with you guys just to talk to you. And Elon Musk has taken to Twitter to notify everyone in the Twitterverse that Tesla will no longer be accepting Bitcoin as payments for Teslas, and it has single-handedly caused a significant disturbance within the market. He went on to say that he is not going to be selling the Bitcoin that Tesla owns, but they are going to be looking for other alternatives in terms of cryptocurrencies that do not have such a heavy tax, if you will, when it comes to transactions, mining those transactions, and the toll that they take on the environment. Personally, I think this is an extreme case of market manipulation. Just going back to investor psychology, people are not going to hold the things that they believe will not make them money. So the fact that you are still going to hold on to your Bitcoin is all but telling. The thing that I would also kind of want to point here is that, we had worked very, very hard to get out of this situation where our EMAs, our 50 had crossed over the 200-day EMA. And we had really done a fantastic job of kind of putting some distance between it, as you can see here. And now we are within a hair, not really a hair, but we are within a short distance of those two EMAs crossing back over one another. Now, if this 50 crosses over this 200-day EMA, this 50 right here crosses over this 200-day EMA. This is going to put us into a very bearish situation. It's known as a death cross. On the opposite, whenever the 50 crosses over the 200 from above, we actually have a golden cross, and we saw that back here when we actually had our run up to just under 60,000. So it's a lot of events that are taking place in the market right now. Bitcoin has been in a little bit of a very tight price range. It's been ranging for some time in this mid $55,000 range, and now this news comes out, and I'll see if I can pull it up here for you guys. Give me just a second so you can see the tweet for yourself. I mean, this is just, yeah. And of course, the people that support the Dogecoin movement are all like, oh yeah, this is great. Now we can finally get Dogecoin to flip Bitcoin. Like, do you hear yourself? Just some of the asinine replies that are coming out of Elon posting this tweet. You've got Anthony Pompliano that was kind of making some of the same points that I was in terms of a lot of Bitcoin mining farms that are online today are actually using renewable energy. So the argument that Elon was trying to make here in this tweet about Bitcoin mining and transactions being especially bad for the environment because they use fossil fuels, especially coal, is completely null and void. And the thing that really gets my goat about this is there's people out there that will not do their own due diligence, that will not do their own homework, who will take what Elon Musk has to say as the gospel. And frankly, I think we've got to do better. We've got to get away from looking at this like because said person is rich, they know more than I do. I mean, this is nothing, in my opinion, this is nothing short of market manipulation. Wants to know how can they get away with market manipulation? It's easy because right now the crypto space is highly unregulated. It's highly unregulated. So there's really no one to report to. And because that's the case, ultimately the people who are market participants, they're the ones who have to be subjugated to what's happening here. And I mean, we touched all the way down to, gosh, this was like the high 40,000 range, 46, so the mid 40s. Since then, we've bought back, we've bounced back, and rightfully so. I mean, like I said, I think this is nothing more than market manipulation, and hopefully for people that are out there looking at this, you know, it was a good opportunity to buy the dip. It still is a good opportunity to buy the dip. It's not financial advice, but it's definitely something that I did. I know there are exchanges all over the crypto space that are just unable to get apps to load up so that market participants can even try to buy crypto. You're probably more likely to buy if you've had a stable coin on an exchange and you've been able to log on and make those purchases. But we are seeing swings. Just, let's look at the 30-minute. We are seeing swings in Bitcoin right now that we haven't seen since 2017. Ultimately, what I think is going to happen is, we'll probably end up testing 52,000. And if we can close and hold above it, especially on a 4-hour, that's going to put us in a really, really good light. I mean, this candle right here on the daily, this is all Elon Musk. This is all Elon Musk. Just the negative tweet. And unfortunately, it's not very easy to chart these kind of things. And I know if you guys have been following me on Twitter at CryptoGlenn, you know that I try to get on here and share as much TA with you guys as I possibly can, or if you're on Telegram at the 6fix in captions or in parentheses, CryptoGlenn, you should be able to find it. If not, I'll put it up on here on the screen in just a moment. But unfortunately, these instances are not that easy to do technical analysis on. So if we go back here, this is the main chart that I was looking at. Gosh, this was yesterday. I saw that we had entered into this ascending channel here, this rising channel, this rising wedge, some people might not even call it. And I said, I'm fully expecting Bitcoin to break out of this channel. Here we go right here. So this is the same thing as that channel right there. So I said, I'm fully expecting us to break out of this ascending channel within the next 8 to 12 hours. And then by the time I had got ready to do my follow-up tweet, the move had already happened well inside that time frame. But by the time I posted it, it was like 13 hours later. And you saw we broke here to the downside. This was way before the tweet that Elon Musk had put out became available. So that was like this right here. All this extra stuff, this is, you know what I mean? Like, TA cannot prepare you for market manipulation. So now here we are. Our next major level of resistance, like I said, is probably going to be, or resistance or support is going to be around this $52,000 range. And even at that 52 mark, we've got this little guy back here. And it's not even really a whole lot of support. Let's see if I can get it. This little guy right here. So we break that, like, we could very well see upper, maybe mid 47, $40,000 range again. Yeah, I mean, I honestly believe that Elon is very bad for crypto. I don't know who let dude on the crypto island, but when you pick a total meme coin to pump as your own personal plaything, and people are going to follow him behind you just because of who you are and the stature and the status that you have. Like, if you're going to pick a coin to pump, like, let's at least pick one that's got some kind of utility. The volume is definitely trying to pick up here, but we need significantly more volume. No, it's not an emotional response. It's a response that's more on the lines of, you have people who are legitimately using cryptocurrency as a vehicle to escape whatever financial situation they may be in. Many of us are using it to increase our own net worths. And at the same time, I mean, like, this is one reason why crypto was even created, because it was very clear and apparent that there were certain factors at play that were preventing a lot of the quote unquote normal folks from being able to establish a leg up. So we decided we're going to take our ball and we're going to go play in another sandbox, and we're doing fine over here. We get the market cap to just over $500 billion in 2017, and people are making money. We get shut down by the big boys. And all the while the big boys are trying to shut down the market that we're now playing in, they're allocating positions for their own gain, while at the same time telling the general public, don't get involved with crypto, yada, yada, yada. More market manipulation. More market manipulation. And then once they have enough of their positions set, then they start to welcome the normal folks back in. Absolutely crazy. I'll take more of you guys' questions here, so if you have them, definitely leave them in the comment section below, and I'll be sure to cover them. Just breaking under $50,000 here, so it looks like that $50,000 range that we were looking to hold is not holding. And we still have about 3 hours left in this candle. So yeah, I mean, this is the hard part, because if you know anything about longing or shorting, it's extremely difficult to long or short in this market and these market conditions, because there's no significant data to support making one move over the other. You can kind of see here where I stand. I just bought more Bitcoin. Fuck Elon Musk. I want to make it my life's mission to bone his leading lady. Let's run a train on her, bump it. New tweet coming in from BitBoy Crypto. Where were these concerns when Elon Musk first announced that Tesla would accept Bitcoin? Like, if Elon Musk is so smart, he's this genius, you can't honestly expect us to believe that he made the decision to buy Tesla without considering all these other factors that it looks like he's just now arriving at this conclusion today. That's what I'm saying. This is nothing more than market manipulation. Everyone, if you can, should be buying the goddamn dip. The only thing, like Michael Saylor is saying here, the only thing that's changed, or that BitBoy Crypto is saying here, is the only thing that's changed is the cost of energy has gone up. But we've seen that the majority, or a lot of new crypto mining farms, especially those that are looking at Bitcoin, are using renewable energy. This is market manipulation, man. This needs to forever be a stain on Elon Musk's reputation. And I don't even want to hear, oh, there was a tweet, Elon Musk was hacked. He didn't really say what people thought he did. You know what I mean? Like, we don't want to hear, oh, my Twitter was hacked. This is market manipulation. And this needs to forever be a stain on dude's reputation. This is just ridiculous. 024 generation, how can one person affect the whole crypto market cap? Well, they don't have to affect the whole crypto market cap. In this instance, they just need to attack the number one asset that typically drives the entire crypto market. And for the space that you and I and everybody else is playing in, that happens to be Bitcoin. So when a magnate of business comes in and says, we're not going to use Bitcoin for the purchases of our products, it tends to have a negative effect on Bitcoin. And because Bitcoin goes down, it's going to drag the entire market with it. Just like the opposite, when that, a magnate of business will say, we're going to start using Bitcoin, the entire price of the market goes up because Bitcoin has gone up. So Bitcoin is this anchor. When it goes down, it pulls everything down with it. But when it goes up, a lot of things tend to do well as well. The only good that can possibly come of this is we've been playing this little cat and mouse game within this mid $50,000 to upper $50,000 range, and we're trying to figure out, are we going to go up, are we going to go down? Those of us that do technical analysis, legitimate technical analysis, and we try not to let the emotions get involved. We've been paying attention to, all these little instances, these patterns that pop up that kind of give us an idea of what's going to happen. So some would say, myself included, the only good that can come of this is because we've finally gone to the downside. Maybe this provides us with a little bit of momentum to finally break to the upside and get out of this mid $50,000 range that we've been trapped in for what seems like 2 or 3 weeks now. But even if that's the case, like I personally wouldn't want it to go down like that. Like we were just at 50. Oh gosh. We were just at like 54. Now we're down 5,000-6,000. In a matter of literal minutes. I agree 100%. I think that he does try to manipulate the market. And if you have to resort to those kind of tactics to put a meme coin at the top of the list, first of all, there would have to be a tremendous influx of money to come in and start pouring into Doge to get it to flip Bitcoin. And secondly, like if that's the way that you had to do it, that's pretty pathetic. That's pretty pathetic. Like Bitcoin got to where it's at now because it was the number, it had first mover advantage, but even after it popped up on the radar of a lot of people, if you chose, and I'm not saying you in general, but if you chose not to get involved with Bitcoin, like that was your own fault. And I'm not saying you, I'm just saying people in general. Like people always say, Bitcoin mining is centralized in China. Okay, well, whose fault is that? China didn't gatekeep the technology to prevent anybody else from being able to mine Bitcoin. It's just other people just didn't want to do it. And China was a country, China was a territory that said, we're going to take that mantle and we're going to run with it. So I think a lot of times when you see people talking negatively about Bitcoin, it's just because it's too expensive for them to buy. And keep in mind, like, you don't have to buy a whole Bitcoin. You can buy fractions. They're called Satoshis. And every fraction leading up to 100, until you get over to 100 million Satoshis, that's when you get your whole Bitcoin. So a lot of times when you're seeing people talking about coins that they like or they're ragging on Bitcoin for that reason, it's price biasness. Most people feel that it's already out of the realm of possibility for them to be able to afford a whole one. So they want to go to these other projects. Now, going to another project isn't necessarily a bad thing unless, if it has its own merit that it can stand on. But like a meme coin, come on. And I know meme coins are hot right now in the market, but that's ridiculous. Pick something up. Use Ethereum. Use, dare I even say like Cardano or Polkadot or Solana. But you chose the meme coin. Dude, you're a whole clown. And if I ever saw Elon Musk to his face, I wouldn't be like one of these people out there, trying to vie for his autograph. I would tell him, like, you are a whole clown. And honestly, I don't think Elon Musk is as smart as he wants a lot of people to think that he is. I think one of his redeeming qualities is the fact that he has good ideas. And he may not necessarily let the naysayers slow him down, but that doesn't mean like he's this boy genius that a lot of people proclaim him to be. Do I personally have an axe to grind against Elon Musk. No, you know what it is? I'm just not in favor of people doing sucker shit. That's what it is. Like, I know what this crypto space represents. I know what it means to myself. I like to think that I know what it means for a lot of people. And when we have events like this that take place, it diminishes the hard work that a lot of people have put in to get here. And that is the problem that I have with Elon Musk and him doing what he decided to do today. There haven't been any new developments from the time he decided that he wanted to buy Bitcoin and put it on Tesla's balance sheet till now. And if you are this boy wonder genius that you want us all to think that you are, you should have considered all of these different variables before even making your first initial purchase to put it on Tesla's balance sheet. Bitcoin has always been proof of work. And in Bitcoin's earlier stages in its life, yes, it did use a lot of non-renewable energy, but now the technology is available where a lot of individuals that are opening mining farms for Bitcoin are using renewable energy. I think if you're actually out in California, if you are actually out in Nevada, if you are actually out in certain parts of Texas, and you have enough land, you can put renewable energy out there. Florida, you can put renewable energy out there and use it to power your mining farm. But my whole stance on this whole entire crypto thing is like, if you've been following me or if you've been a supporter of mine or a viewer of mine for any elongated period of time, you know that my whole entire thing is I do what I do because I don't want anybody to be able to have the opportunity to say, well, no one ever told me. And when it comes to this, no one's going to get the opportunity to say, well, we didn't have the opportunity to take over some of the mining power when it comes to Bitcoin. You find the money, you put the money up, you built the infrastructure. Congratulations, you're now a Bitcoin miner. Now it's not centralized in China, like people like to say. And if it is centralized in China, it's not centralized in China because, again, China was gatekeeping. Like they weren't doing that. Yeah, Freddie, unfortunately, we can't actually get any decent technical analysis on this because it's just all over the place. It's all over the place. Like, you can't really chart this. The only thing this says here is that this is in a very massive descending channel, and descending channels, they normally tend to be very bullish, which is why you see the bulls here slowly eating up this sales support volume. And we're trying, because again, I have bought Bitcoin. I am longing Bitcoin right now. We are trying to buy the price back up to a fair equilibrium where it should be, outside of the manipulation that we're seeing here. I'll show you what we're also trying to ward against. Is if we look at our EMAs, we are trying to make sure, and we are definitely putting some more distance in between it. Oh, that's Bitcoin Cash. Sorry. I was looking at that because someone that made a request. Total $2.2 trillion in the marketplace. We've actually lost 3 or 5 billion from the last time I checked. Okay, yeah, we're actually still putting some solid distance. That's good. So if you go back in the stream when we originally looked at it, these two, this is our 20-day, this is our 50-day. I'm sorry, this is our 200-day right here, yeah. It's our 200-day. I'm dealing with too many EMAs, I'm getting them confused. This is our 50-day. When this EMA crosses over the top, thank you 24 generation, I appreciate that, man, I really do. I'm going to circle back to that here in a minute. But when this 50 EMA crosses over the 200 EMA from the top, it forms what's known as a death cross. We saw that happen. We got to go back a ways because we actually just had a decent breakout here not too long ago. We actually start to see these things happen, like back here, we tend to go down. Then we have this golden cross where the 20 or the 50 crosses over the 200-day EMA from the bottom, and we tend to break to the upside. We actually just had that. Come on. See if I can zoom in here. We actually just had it towards the end of April. It's November 20th. What am I doing? Towards the end of April, we actually had the 50-day EMA cross over the 200-day EMA from the bottom. And that's when we had the breakout that took us back up to just under 60,000. Should have been this right here. Guys, I really do. I appreciate the comments. It lets me know that, one, it's entertaining. Two, it's informative. And three, this is just a place, a space where we can have civil discord and dialogue about things that are taking place because, you know, it's important. It's important. I want people to become better traders. And a part of that is sharing with you guys the things that I've learned along my crypto journey that took place 4 years ago. And it's a great place for us to sit around and bounce ideas off of each other. Kind of combing the comments here. So Bitcoin Diamond. I've seen Bitcoin Diamond before. I'll be honest with you, I haven't really given it a solid look. I know that the majority of these are actually forks from Bitcoin, but I haven't really given it a solid look. If that's something that you really want to know about, let me know. I'll see if I can do a dedicated video for you. And that way you can have a look. Yobi sir, yes, of course, it's my job. I gotta try and share the info when I get it. They say it's no fun at the top. I'm not at the top. I mean, I'm still in my ascension, but I want everybody to win. And I know sometimes trading is a zero-sum game, but I think as long as people are paying attention and you're diligent, you give yourself a better chance to win. And that's what I want. I want people to fare out very, very well and very handsomely from this opportunity that we're looking at here in terms of crypto. There's going to be days where that's incredibly hard because we have people like Elon Musk that want to try and flex their muscle and prevent people from being able to succeed. The Jubilee to Bitcoin. Yeah, so the Bitcoin Cash Jubilee, I was actually in a Telegram group and a young lady asked me to take a look at it. I'm not holding Bitcoin Cash. I had a little bit, back in the day. But since then, I've kind of parted ways with my Bitcoin Cash in favor for other cryptos. Yobi wants to know, why is Coinbase exchange scarce on TradingView anymore? Yobi, what do you mean? Can you further elaborate on that? Bitcoin's trying to get we really need to get above and hold. We need to break and hold above 52. This is our day here. Let's go to our 4 hour. That's why those two EMAs were not functioning properly. Okay, let's go ahead and open this up here. All right. So if we look here, this is where we actually had our 50-day crossover, our 200-day. From the bottom, you see we had that mighty push. And since then, we've been kind of hanging out in this mid $50,000 range. What we want to make sure happens is that we don't cross back over from the top, because that will insinuate a death cross. Yeah, so we still have a few hours in order for this to close here. Give me a second here, folks.
Okay, hang on, guys. I'm just kind of combing this comment section. I forgot about you all. All right, yeah, so I just had to visit with the my Goyles here as soon as they had walked in. So let me get back to these comments. What were you fine folks asking me here? Yeah, so Yobi, that's a good question. I'm not sure why. I know Coinbase is actually going through a bit of a delisting because they are heavily regulated. So any coins that did not pass, it was like a federal banking charter's requirements, and they did delist them. Some like XRP has been taken off. There's other cryptos that have been taken off as well. Other exchanges too. Kind of going over Twitter here on a different screen, trying to see if we get some more insight as to what's going on. What are some of the sentiments of people in the current cryptocurrency market as people are having more time to sit down and actually digest this tweet from Elon Musk. You know, I see stuff like this that people, listen, if Elon Musk actually wants to make Doge the coin that people can use to buy a Tesla, like that's fine, but it's not Bitcoin. 100%. I think this guy's got it right. You don't think Elon Musk already knew that? Michael is stating, "You're crazy. He has an agenda." Period. 100%. He has an agenda. 100%. I think we'd be foolish to think otherwise. Every now and again, we see these little FUD cycles that go on in the Bitcoin market. The elites, the powers that be, the uber wealthy, they'll try and FUD it. The price goes down so they can have a liquidity event so they can turn around and buy more. This isn't anything new. This happened all the way back from 2017 on till now. I sold my Tesla to buy more Bitcoin. Yes. So the overall sentiment to this is people think this is one huge FUD event, which it is, and they, obviously know that this is just BS. Let's take a look here at some projects in the market that might actually make for a good buy right now. I still think Bitcoin is a pretty solid buy, even though it is going through a tremendous amount of swings, these very, very volatile swings. BNB starting to recover nicely. It was 605 just a moment ago. It's now sitting at 621. Okay, and I'm back. That guys, those of us that have children, you know that sometimes your perennial duties call in. Well, you have to do what you have to do. And mine were just a calling. All right, so going back here, looking at our list here, I want to say thank you to everyone for just kind of hanging out, kind of digesting this Elon tweet. The market currently falling back underneath 50,000. It's going to be a long night here, guys. Of course, I'm not going to do the stream for the whole entire night, but it's going to be a long night. You know, we got a lot of ground that we really need to try and make up. I just, a part of me fears what could potentially happen if we don't make this ground up. The market's already starting to see a little bit of a rebound in terms of where we have been at within the last couple of hours. VeChain, if you're a VeChain fan, would have been down 3.6% or 3.06%. That's probably a definite good buy to get into right now. Matic still holding up okay, above $1. Shout out to everybody who got into Matic a few months back. Matic has been on an absolute tear. Atom. So if anyone isn't aware, Atom, I'm a huge fan of Atom. I like staking Atom, and sometimes I'll just pull up the websites or the apps where I have Atom staked, and it's cool just to kind of watch the number go up and up and up and up and up. Maker's been on an absolute tear over the last month. Safe Moon, can't believe that this is actually flipped legitimate projects like Lunaterra, Tezos, BitTorrent, not so much, and Kusama, but there it is, Safe Moon. For those of you that don't know, Safe Moon originally started out as a rug and over time found a way to legitimize their project. So, yeah. Leo's doing very nice, coming up from last time I checked, wow, it seems like 47 cents to now it's about $3.76. Cake, huge fan of Cake. I don't think anyone can really ever have enough cake, with it being currently sitting at around $31.26. There's no reason why this coin isn't actually above $50. So I think this is extremely, extremely underpriced. To me, Cake kind of resembles very heavily what BNB coin was in terms of what its price what it used to be back in the day. I wouldn't be surprised if Cake eventually got over $100, potentially this bull cycle. So there's definitely some good buys to be had here. You just kind of have to keep in mind, what do you like? Do you like meme coins? Do you like DeFi? Do you like some of the legacy? Do you like some of the blue chip projects? Phantom, I remember when Phantom was 2 cents. It's crazy. The graph has been having a little bit of a hard time as of late. Yeah, it's $1.33, but I remember this thing was knocking on the door to $3 just a couple months ago. It's having a little bit of a hard time trying to reclaim its former spot. Tailcoin, huge fan of Tailcoin. I've been telling everybody, Tailcoin since back when it was a penny, maybe even sub a penny, but you'd have to be following me on Twitter in order to know that. So if you're not doing so, definitely feel free to follow me on Twitter at CryptoGlenn. There you see it right there. I put a lot of instantaneous TA stuff that I'm looking at when I see it there for everybody to kind of break down, share the information, and take trade setups. A lot of times when I'm doing videos, it's only because there's something big that's going on, like what we have going on here, or there's a lot of content that I want to put out to you guys. But normally when it's a trade setup, we're not normally doing videos about that because it's easily consumed in a post like a tweet. Gosh. Yeah, ultimately I think long term Bitcoin does fine. It's just when we get into these situations that we're in now, and here's what I mean by that. Fear when you're looking at the markets, Jason, when you're looking at the markets, you see red and you see green. The green represents optimism, happiness. The red indicates fear and uncertainty. And the thing about those two emotions is fear is a way more contagious emotion than optimism and happiness. Here you have a little bit of a sell-off. Nobody wants to be the last one holding. So then a lot of holders start to sell. The thing about these markets is it's the initiated, the people who come over from the legacy institutions who know the plays, who have seen these kind of things happen before, and over time they're the ones who cause the FUD. They buy up on the low and they push it back up. Like even if you got in when we topped out at about 46 to where we're currently at, that's almost 10%. That's almost 10% for not doing anything except just buying the dip. See there? So that's why I can't stress enough. Buy the dip. Buy the dip. Buy the dip. Yeah. Ultimately, what I'd like to see Bitcoin end up, I'd like to see Bitcoin end up north of 75,000. I kind of think that's the trajectory we were on before a lot of these shenanigans started happening. ETH has kind of actually recovered a bit nicely here. About $50 or so away from being back at that crucial $4,000 range where we need to remain at, but we'll see. We'll see. Excuse me. I want to take a look. Let's get some of these DAOs. The Dodo Exchange token, $3.04. Not bad. Back above 50,000 now. Finally, we need to hold it. I think it's going to be one giant game of yo-yo here for till the wee hours of the morning. We still have to wait to see what China and the Asian markets are going to do. Normally, those take place when we're asleep, and if you've been paying attention to Bitcoin over these last few weeks, we've had some pretty decent, pretty significant price action in the middle of the night. So, yeah. What I'm going to do here is, like I said, you can't even really do TA on this kind of stuff because it's still way too volatile where it's at right now. I lied. What we can do is we can look at fibs. So let's say if we think we're still in an uptrend. If I say I actually want to see ultimately what this fib tells us is what we'll do is we'll retrace a little bit to either the 618 or the 382. These are normally the golden zones before we start to move back up. But because we've come down here all the way to like this steep retracement zone, if we do end up moving back up to the upside, that springboard should be absolutely just a great violent move to the upside. However, if you think we're in a down run, we could potentially move back up here to the 786, the 618, or the 38.2 retracement before we start moving to the downside. So we're kind of at the mercy of the markets right now. It's kind of hard to tell what essentially we might do. And if you're looking at fib extensions to see where people were taking profits at, you know, here we were where we had all of this significant price action. This 618, this zone that we've been stuck in, and essentially we just broke down out of that. So in order for us to be signifying that we are in fact on a healthy uptrend move, we need to try and get back above into the 618, close above it, and move back up to the upside. The normal profit taking regions are probably going to be here at the 1618. This is another common area. So in order for us to get back up into the upper 618, that's going to put us just above $75,000. So that's kind of what I was making mention to a while ago when I said I'd like to see us at about 75,000. But we've got to wait till we find significant price floor for where we're at right now here, Redcoat. Yep. So I'm going to call it for right here. If there's going to be any significant updates, you all can definitely find my updates here on Twitter at CryptoGlenn. If you have any questions, definitely leave them in the comment section below here. I'm going to have my phone on me, and I'm definitely going to be paying attention to what's been going on in the markets here, and I definitely want to update you all. Rodriguez, what's going on, my man? Yeah, I know the audio is choppy. I'm not sure why it's coming over choppy over on YouTube. I'm going to end the stream here in just a moment and get that figured out so that when we go live here in future streams, everything's coming across nice and clear. But again, if you haven't already, definitely be sure to follow me here on Twitter at CryptoGlenn. You can see it right there. And this is where I'm going to be updating you guys a lot in the coming hours to find out what's been going on with Bitcoin. Again, we need to get above 52,000. We need to close there, and we need to build off of that momentum. Ideally, I'd like to see us above 75,000, but we've got to start looking at 75,000. If you guys have any comments, definitely hit me up on Twitter. Let me know at CryptoGlenn. You can always leave the comments in the comment section below on this live stream video, and I will see you all in the next one. I want to say thank you to each and every one of you for tuning in, for hanging out. If you like these live streams, let me know. We'll try to incorporate more of these into the channel. Slap a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.